he was like, well, you could do your boobs, you can get liposuction, you could do all these things. I didn't want to do any of that. I was like, I'm strictly specifically sticking to repairing what is broken inside. And my doctor had already told me, she's like, listen, baby, you're not going to fix this by yourself. You're going to need some help. And I thought about it. I was like, what do I want to do? Wait till I'm 60 to then try to recover harder and longer.
Yeah.
And so when this when this conversation happened in Jamaica, I remember I had said it out loud and I thought to myself, wait a second. I was like, I don't ever want to perpetuate to anybody looking at me like this is just how God blessed me. No. I actually had to go and have medical surgical intervention.
What's up, y'all? It's Ashley.
It's Melanie.
And Codie here. And you've tapped into
The Mama's Den.
Welcome to the Mama's Den
Podcast.
Oh!
Yeah.
Oh.
You get that once a year and that's it.
Yo.
Oh,
Dang, it's
wow.
March. Well, dang, it's May. Whatever it is when you're listening to this. Yes.
So pretty.
Everyone's so beautiful today.
Aren't we?
We really stepped it up today's episode. If you're watching, we stepped it up.
And you should be.
And you should be watching, because why would you want to miss all that is?
We stepped it up because we are like super grateful to work with a showroom in LA called The Show Must Go On.
Shout out to Serena.
Yes. Who lent these clothes to us. We actually, like the showroom, you can rent clothes and go to parties and stuff like that. You don't always have to pay all the funds, y'all, to get the fancy items.
That part.
You can rent. There are a lot of places that do this. But if you're in LA and you're in need, the show must go on.
Because the show must go on. Yeah, I've actually gone to the show must go on for a few things. In fact, actually, all of the pieces, with the exception of the jeans for my Say Yes music videos and I Choose You, were from the show must go on.
Nice.
Shoes included.
Oh, that one white shirt that looked like.
That looked like a wet t-shirt contest. Yes. That was from the show must go on. In I Choose You, the gold chain link kind of vest shirt that I wore. Show must go on.
Yeah. But what I love about it is that you don't have to be a stylist. You don't have to have a stylist.
No.
You can be a girly who just is, in town and you need something special for a night out.
Yes.
Yeah, that was my first time. I loved my experience. It was like super easy, and they pull stuff for you, and then you can like look at the things that you like as well. So it was cool. I definitely will use it because I don't have any clothes.
I would like to own everything I am wearing for these episodes.
Yes.
I really love every single thing that they had in there.
I love those boots on you, girl.
The
They're
boots.
very cute.
Those are.
And they do jewelry and all that.
They sure do.
Okay, y'all. So, what we didn't do was introduce ourselves.
We didn't.
Oh, I'm gonna go
We're these
first.
fancy ladies in these fancy clothes.
I'm Ashley Chia, a mother of 4 daughters, Amira, Zara, Asia, Talia. They are 17, 9, 7, and 4.
You did it, Joe.
Wow.
I've been practicing.
This is with a melody and everything. Hey, I'm Melanie Fiona. I have 2 kids, Cameron and Kaya, 10 and 4.
10.
10, big 10. Yeah, we made it.
I'm Codie Lane Oliver, and my children are Brooks, Aristotle, and Langston. Brooks is 9, and Aristotle and Langston are 7-year-old twins.
Yay.
Yes.
2 for 1.
Yes. Y'all, we have a special
Episode today because, one, obviously we're dressed.
We're fancy.
We're so fancy. But, we're fancy because we deserve to be fancy. We deserve to feel fancy every single day of our lives, especially as mothers, everything that we go through.
Okay.
But this episode kind of came out of the blue because we were talking offline about, we've actually done an episode before.
We have.
The previous episode, we were talking about postpartum, bodies, care, how we feel about ourselves, the changes that we had to go through, and some of the things that we have done to make ourselves feel better. Our previous host, Felicia, she had shared her postpartum journey after having kids, and she had her mommy makeover, and she was very, very open
Not
about
our
that.
previous host. It's just funny. I'm sorry.
Co-host.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
And we had talked about things that we would necessarily have to do or may have to do or we're comfortable with what we were talking about. And we're just talking about that as women in overall.
Also, I think that episode started because I was like, I'm obsessed with women's bodies,
Yes.
right? Like I'm obsessed with seeing people on the gram or in real life and being like, ooh, those are nice boobies, or ooh, how'd she get her stomach like that, or ooh, there's the booty. How much she pay for that? Because sometimes you can tell and sometimes you can't, and most of the time you can't,
I
right?
never
And people
can.
don't always like say anything. So I think that's kind of how it started, because I was really just like in awe of just every human woman body at the time, and still kind of am. But you, my friend, went on a trip recently.
I did go on a trip recently. And so, as you guys know, I had Kaya 4 years ago. And my journey through pregnancy, as if you've been a day one faithful follower, you know that with my first child, I put on 80 pounds, which was crazy. I was a whole other person. And that did a number on my body. We started talking about diastasis recti. We started talking about ab separation and what that did. When I had Kaya the second time around, I put on 65 pounds. She busted me wide open. She busted me wide open from the top of my chest down my entire abdominal wall. And any progress that I had made in repairing my diastasis with my son was just completely ruined. And so I remember I had lost all feeling. I had complete nerve damage. She had basically shattered me open. Anyways, long story short, my doctor had told me, she was like, listen, you're going to have to fix this one day. And I was like, really? Am I? And in the previous episode, as you guys know, I was very like anti-surgery because I had already had abdominal surgery to have Cameron free as cesarean. And surgery is a very, very serious thing.
Yeah.
And so the long and short of the story is that I was in Jamaica recently and I was there with some friends, one who was like a few years younger than me. She doesn't have kids. And she was talking about like being out in the world. She was like, yeah, when I have kids and this, that. And she was just like, man, she was just like, and I was just looking at Melanie like, damn, she got 2 kids and that stomach is on flat. And I was like, oh no, but baby girl, I paid for this. And she was like, and I realized that it was the first time I had said it out loud. And so, 2.5 years after I had Kaya, I decided to have reconstructive surgery to my abdominal wall because it was destroyed and it was reparative surgery. And so I had to have a full abdominoplasty, which they ratcheted me from the inside out to repair the 4-finger separation that I had had. And
what do they call that in the streets?
Oh, they call it a tummy tuck. Okay. They call it a tummy tuck, abdominoplasty. And so there's ways that you can do it. And it's crazy because I'll speak for myself. In that time, I remember there was so much going on and I had to make the decision of when I was going to do it. I had shows coming up. I had to get ready to go back to work. It was all these things. And there was a window of opportunity where I could have gotten it done. And I was like, I have to get this done.
Okay.
And here.
Codie enters the chat.
Codie enters the chat first, by the way.
So funny enough. I mean, I think I said in that episode that, and it's called the Snapback for anybody who wants to go back and listen to what we were thinking back in like 22 about this. I'm pretty sure I was, open for sure, just to a tummy tuck, maybe getting my boobs done that have always been small, but then they were like droopy, and are. And so I had been researching tummy tucks, probably ever since I had the twins. So much so that y'all ever seen, oh my God, the show on Netflix with the female plastic surgeon. I can't think of the name of it.
Yes.
But,
it wasn't, it's not botched, but it was basically.
It was Dr. Nazarian. It was a reality show.
Yes.
And she was like the first person that I contacted because I was like, I like her on TV, but she's very expensive.
Girl.
But it started this process of like calling doctors and doing, I did a lot of consultations over several years. And then in whatever year that was.
2023.
2023, was it? Okay,
yeah.
2023. Funny enough, when we were having the conversation about me running a half marathon, which I didn't do because there was a window. I had just had a consultation with a doctor in LA for a tummy tuck. It was probably my 4th. And it was right before Thanksgiving. And I liked him. I had enough information to sort of say, like, I like this guy. I like how he's talking about this. I like my understanding of the recovery, et cetera, et cetera. And so I then had a window of like December 1st. Like it was mid-November. And December 1st was the option for me. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do it, which is why I did not run the half marathon at that time. I did it later, but I was like, I'm going to do it. And I had a tummy tuck on December 1st, 2023. And so my recovery, which I think, 6 weeks of, basically they're like chill. 2 weeks of being at home. Truly, they're saying, take it easy. Don't even take walks. 6 weeks of just chill. And I did that on December 1st. And then I think that you called and were like, do you like this guy? You did a consultation. Melanie did a consultation. And then
I went to see the same
window.
doctor. They called me and they said, we have an opening. It was like 3 days after Christmas or something like that. And I was like, what? And I was like, and Codie said, I like this guy. I went and had my consultation and I liked him too. And we ended up repairing our bodies at the exact same
Yes.
time.
Yes. A
Within,
couple
like,
weeks apart.
A couple weeks.
So
like
I
a
was
month
taking my
apart.
notes on like, this is how it went and this is what I would do different. Nothing that I would do differently, but like, here's how to recover and the kind of pillows to get.
And it was so helpful. Ashley opened up her home to me, and I went. And Ashley wasn't home, and I stayed in Ashley's home for my
Aftercare
recovery.
service.
Wait, why? Why were you? Oh, because it was closer.
It was closer.
Right?
It was closer because
and you had a nurse.
I
we weren't even there.
both
We were
did.
out of town.
No, Ashley let
Yeah.
me stay in her home by myself with the post care
Okay,
nurse.
by yourself, but who came by?
Oh yes, Codie did come by because she was now in a better recovery state. She brought me juices.
Yeah.
And I will say this. The reason why this episode I think is so important is because in that time, it was all very new. And I think all of us were kind of like, well, what are we feeling? How are we feeling? And I think that this is an ongoing conversation amongst women where we are really unsure. You can change your mind.
Yeah.
When you feel good about something, you have to do it. You have to honor yourself to do that. And so I remember thinking like, in the process, because I had the option, he was like, well, you could do your boobs, you can get liposuction, you could do all these things.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do any of that. I was like, I'm strictly specifically sticking to repairing what is broken inside. And my doctor had already told me, she's like, listen, baby, you're not going to fix this by yourself. You're going to need some help. And I thought about it. I was like, what do I want to do? Wait till I'm 60 to then try to recover harder and longer.
Yeah.
And so when this when this conversation happened in Jamaica, I remember I had said it out loud and I thought to myself, wait a second. I was like, I don't ever want to perpetuate to anybody looking at me like this is just how God blessed me. No. I actually had to go and have medical surgical intervention to repair what was broken in my body. And so for me, she was like, oh, really? And when I showed her what my stomach used to look like, and I think that that's the thing, I didn't even realize how much suffering I was doing in the name of concern or shame or judgment or anything like that, because I think this is the thing that we do as women to each other, and we really, really shouldn't, because every woman's journey is. And
I love to shame people, but not when it comes to their body.
Oh my gosh!
Thank you, Ashley.
But this is why transparency is so important. Like when you're saying you're looking somebody's body online, you're like, what did they do? Did they have? And of course, it's everyone's prerogative to. But I think in the space of which we are in women, in sisterhood and in motherhood, we do have a bit of a responsibility to share what the journey has been, and we've done that. I think.
Well,
all
I
the
think
time.
it's a choice. I butt up against that a little bit.
Go ahead first. Yes.
No. I mean, obviously, I'm down to share.
Yeah.
I'm trying to decide if I think it's a responsibility. Maybe
I will speak for myself.
Say this. I think it's a responsibility when you are perpetuating. Like if you're someone who's perpetuating, like I'm working out.
Yeah.
This is what I'm doing.
And you don't say
you're
that part.
advertising yourself as if you are a workout girly, a Pilates girly, a yoga girly, a fitness girly, and you've had a tummy tuck. You absolutely should be being honest with your audience, because if you're telling people to follow a certain regime or whatever, and this is how you get this result, and you're omitting the part where their stomach and their body will never look like yours if you had surgical help. So I just feel like if you're not sharing that and that's not your platform, you don't have to tell anybody anything.
Exactly.
But if you're making your platform about fitness and about wellness and you have surgery, you don't share that. Just like Sai, she's on
Sai De Silva.
Yeah, she just shared about her tummy tuck recently. And she was like, listen, I work out, I go to the gym all the time. She was like, but I'm 40 something years old. I've had 2 children, and her kids are older, like a teenager and a 10-year-old. And she was like, all these years that have gone by, and she consistently works out. You see her. She was like, my stomach, she still has some ab separation. And she was like, and there still was just a pooch that like, she's like, I just didn't feel good about it. And she shared like, I went and had a tummy tuck because she had posted a picture and everybody was like, oh my God, your body looks so good. She was like, no, I had a tummy tuck. Like it was flat, of course, but it was not looking like this until I got a tummy tuck. But I just want to say something about Melanie. Baby, I don't know if you remember, we had a conversation and you were going back and forth about your decision to get the tummy tuck, and you kept saying like, I don't want to have surgery again. And one day you FaceTimed me and showed me how many support systems you had to use to hold your stomach in and you had never shown me your stomach, and you took that thing off. When you showed me how your stomach coned, I was like, friend, you cannot live your life this way. I don't care if it was like caused from a baby or if that was just how, that was not healthy. That was not a way to the way, and it was hot and you had to I was like, you cannot live your life this way.
I did not know. I was literally just doing everything I could to manage the situation until I realized, like, why am I suffering? Like, why am I doing this to myself? Also, it's extremely dangerous, right? To like not have support within your core.
Your core support,
and this was the thing that, and again, now mind you, after I had Cam, I thought like, oh, I probably could have lived like that for the rest of my life because I had done a lot of PT to close my gap. But when the doctor told me, as she was TMI, as she's operating on me, she's like, hey, yeah, you're gonna have to get this surgery, girl.
She should have sewn you up while she was in there.
You know what? Some doctors do that, right? We talked about that. But again, it was a recovery process. And I asked her too, I was like, how soon do you think that I should do this? And she said, as soon as you can. That's what she told me. And mind you, this was a doctor that I trusted and developed such a close relationship with. And so she said, as soon as you can. And so again, I think that with everything that the Mama's Den has been for me, truly, it has been the confirmation of you're not in this alone. You have sisters, you have support to go through things. Yeah. So when Codie was like, listen, I'm doing this, I was like, it made me feel like, wait, maybe I should do it too. And I felt like it was honestly a gift because I felt like I was so overwhelmed with the process. I wasn't interviewing doctors and like I wasn't focused on all these things. I was just like, I'll figure it out. Let me buy another faja. Like it was like, which one works better? So I think it's really important for me, I will say this. And that's why when I was in Jamaica and my homegirl was like, it just came out like, oh no, I don't ever want you to think that like, I just got here. Like, let me show you what it used to look like.
Well, as someone who has not had surgery, I do want to let women know too, when you have ab separation, because I have it, mine was just like a finger and a half, right? So I was like, I don't need to have surgery for that. The thing is yes, you can repair it with exercise, but as someone that still has it, if you do not repair it surgically, the moment you are not, like your whole life has to be centered around repair, meaning every workout you do has to be centered around fixing your ab separation and breathing properly and holding your core in. Yes. So the moment that you stop doing that, like my stomach will go from being super flat to looking like I'll have a little pudge, because if you don't get it surgically repaired, you have to do that for the rest of your life. And the moment you stop exercising, that separation comes right back. And I throw my back out all of the time.
So remember when I threw my back out when we went to New York to do Tamron Hall?
Which was after
surgery, a year after. Yeah. A year after. So I'm in the clear, I'm doing good, everything's fine. And I threw my back out and I slipped a disc, and I called the PT that I was seeing before I had the surgery for my diastasis. She would come, she would work on my back. And it's funny, every time I threw my back out, she would always, I think she was going to rub my back, and she never did. She made me do core exercises because your core is directly connected to your back. So when I told her, I was like, oh my gosh, I've thrown my back out, I need to see you. I told her, she's like, how's your diastasis? I said, well, I actually fixed it. I had it repaired. And she said, did your surgeon send you for physical therapy after? And I said, no. And she says, she said, this is something I wish more doctors would encourage in post-surgical care, because you get so used to not having a core that you're not actually using and engaging the muscles the way that you need to. Yeah. So just because they fixed it from the inside doesn't mean that you've repaired the way that you are moving and controlling your body. So now, ever since then, I am so core engaged because it is everything. And so that's the thing. I also want to say to this, like, it's really not the easy way out. Yeah. Like, I said that from before. Surgery is, I still stand by it. Like listen, he had the option. He was like, hey, we can do your breasts and we could do, I was like, no, that's too many hours of surgery for me. I don't want to be under for 8 hours. I'm good. Like, and okay, maybe my breasts will be soft and lower than they were forever, but I can live with that. It's the same thing. It's like some people go in and then they do all the things at once. I was not going in there for that. For me specifically, it was about repairing my core. And so that to me is not the easy way out. I've done PT, I've done the diets, I've done the exercises and the strength training and the being mindful of my, lifestyle and diet. And so I want to say that just because I even got my core, I still threw my back out. So I still have to maintain strength training. I also just don't have to wear 3 different layers of belly wraps, you know, which is crazy. And as a performer, that was just a non-negotiable. I could not continue to operate and live that way.
Yeah. And I also want to add like the spectrum of why people choose cosmetic surgery, or, obviously there's repair when we're talking about diastasis, but there is a spectrum, right? Yes. I was certainly not in the same sort of physical pain that you were in and did not have as much loose skin. So for me, my logic and rationale was much more around 2 things. My lifestyle, like, yes, I consider myself active, but not consistently. So there wasn't like an everyday, I'm doing this to tighten and to flatten and to build abs. And I had 2 5-year-olds and a 7-year-old at that time. And so I have one friend in particular that kept being like, but girl, what are you really going to do? Like, do you actually have the time and energy to do something more than what you're doing? So it was partially lifestyle. And I will say the other piece of it, I think through pregnancy, because I think we all talk about body dysmorphia. I think I've always thought I'm bigger than I am. But through pregnancy, I realized that I have a small frame. And I knew I have small boobs, but I have a small frame. And so what I didn't want was to have a bigger tummy than my titties. And so one of the like biggest motivators for me was like, if I can't get this pooch to go away on my own, and I can't pick clothes easily that fit, it made everything harder to try to find clothes for my body that I liked with small boobs and a pooch, both of those things together, and the diastasis. So it was one of those things that's like the amount of work and energy and education that I have to do for me to repair that and to tighten that and to keep it tight. I don't know that I can do that. And so I kept doing these consultations and sort of like not pulling the trigger. And that deadline, that December 1st was like, okay, I'm committed to this.
But when you know, you know.
Yeah.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that either. I feel like I'm glad you said that, Codie. I think that for me, I could live with my body the way that it is. Of course, like, you know, there's things.
I could live with your body too.
That's
I
crazy.
could live with your body too, girl.
Well, I'm living in it. However, as I'm getting older too, I do think about aging. I think about my lifestyle, what I'm comfortable with, what I want to do with my life, how I want to live my life. And a lot of times it might simply just be for vanity. I want to get a tummy tuck because I'm like, but I have just like loose skin because I was so skinny. And then with Tata, I only gained 15 pounds in my pregnancy, mind you. Like, I don't gain a lot of pounds.
With Tata?
Yes.
Oh,
only
Lord.
15 pounds.
Okay.
But I had gained that weight after I had Asia because I developed Hashimoto's.
Got it.
So I have always been very active and worked out 45 times a week. Y'all know I eat super healthy. I don't eat junk food. So I've always been very fit, very skinny. That weight was never an issue for me ever in my life until after I had Asia. And I just randomly, like 6 months later, started gaining weight, you know? So the doctor was like, you weigh more now than you did when you were pregnant. And we could not figure out what was going on for like 3 years. It was very insane. Within that 3 years, I got pregnant with Natalia. It's too many children. Oh my God. Damn. But with my last daughter. So I remember when I almost had preeclampsia, like, you know, when you have to go take the test. And I went and took it, and they made me come back and do like the 3-hour one and everything. And they were like, you're like right there. Like it's your blood sugar is very high. And then after I had Tata, like I started getting migraines and having blood sugar problems. And like the doctor was like, I think you have diabetes. So I went in and got checked, and she was like, you most certainly do. Like I was pre-diabetic, and then I had diabetes. So she gave me diabetes medicine, and I was just so embarrassed to take it because it was popping at the time. And I was like, I don't want people to think that I'm just trying to like take trizepatide because I want
Who are the people?
The world. I don't know. I just like, you know, same
Only
reason
if you
probably why
tell the
Melanie
world.
felt like I don't want to get a tummy tuck. There's just, I think for me, I've always been a dancer. I've always been very fit. I took very much so pride in my body and me taking care of my body. That was like my little feather in my hat. And my snapback with most of my kids was like, and I lost the weight and I'm healthy and da-da-da. So I think too, when your identity is wrapped in your body and the way you look, and you spend your whole life staring at yourself in a mirror, then there is some shame that's associated with having surgery or using a weight loss drug or anything like that. Even if it's for medical purposes, you feel like shame, like you're taking the easy way out or something. So I remember like I got a prescription for it. And then because I had Hashimoto's though, there was like a conflict with it because it can potentially cause thyroid cancer for people that have like thyroid issues. So initially they gave it to me. Then I said I couldn't take it. Then I tried all these other drugs, and Nala was like, take this, take that, da-da-da-da. And then finally I took it. I lost that 40 pounds in 2 months. It like immediately went away. And the doctor was like, oh, baby, you needed that. Like it immediately went away. But then it's so funny because Nala was texting me like, she's like, girl, people asking me if you sick or like why, like she got skinny like super quick. And it was just funny to me. But then I was like, I don't care. And I told people on Instagram, like, I feel amazing. Like I needed it. I took it. The weight came off. It never came back. They figured out like what was going on with my thyroid. I've been able to manage that. So I know to keep that in check, but that's literally what was making and people that have Hashimoto's know your weight will just fluctuate. Like it messes up your blood sugar. You can't process food and you just gain weight, lose weight, gain weight, lose weight. But I was just like, why didn't I do this sooner? Because the mental welfare that I was going through with like feeling like I was not in my body.
Warfare.
mental warfare.
I said welfare. My bad.
It just means it
I was
has
on
a
that too
different
at one
meaning,
point.
and I
Yeah.
want to make sure that your point.
Yes.
That's a good
No,
point.
but like you feel in your body like when you don't feel right. And I think the thing is too, I always said, I knew when I had just met someone when they would be like, oh, you lost weight, versus people that knew me that were like, oh, you're back. Like my friends were like, oh, bitch, I'm so happy for you. You got your body back. But people that met me while I was pregnant was like, oh my God, you lost a lot of weight. And I'm like, no, yes. You know, like that, all of that trauma of rooted in like, no, I was already skinny. And then I was like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I don't care if
It really
someone
doesn't
just
matter.
met me and they think I lost a lot of weight, or if people knew me and like, oh, you're back. Like you, whatever was happening with you for that 3 years is no longer happening. I just was like, I feel good. And the only thing that matters is that I feel good in my body. And I think that is the overarching point too. If you're having surgery for medical reasons, for vanity, for whatever it is, it quite literally doesn't matter. It's your body. You need to be okay. You need to feel good every day that you wake up. And you also just need to make healthy choices. Like, don't let surgery be an escape from being responsible with your eating habits, with exercising,
absolutely.
because it's not going to take those things away. Like you do have to work on the mental of what is the reason why you're having the surgery. But if you simply want to feel better in your body, then you should do whatever you need to do to feel good in your body, regardless of what your spouse is saying.
I also bring this and liken it to breastfeeding, right?
Yeah, okay.
Breastfeeding, we've talked about this in several ways. Like, listen, baby, when it's not for you, it's not for you. And that's okay. Okay. Like that's my personal belief.
You know, I disagree with that.
Well,
Wait, what?
That's you.
What does that mean?
I feel like if you can't, that's one thing.
Oh, but
if you're,
everyone should try. That's
yeah,
how you
I
feel?
think everyone should try.
Okay.
And it's not easy in the beginning, but I feel like if you have milk, then
Look, I would say everybody should try just because it
use
makes
it.
life a little bit easier.
yes, and it's
Especially
cheaper.
when you're on an airplane. But go ahead.
But if you
what I'm
can,
saying-
that's
I-
different.
yeah,
no,
if
but
you can or if
we're-
it's hard.
No,
like
but this is what I'm saying.
A thing.
But it is
Yeah, I hear you.
mental warfare. It
Yep.
is because there are points where you're just listen, 3 months into breastfeeding with Kaya, I was in a deep dark place of my mind, struggling to.
Well, weren't you struggling to produce milk too?
I was pumping like a cow all
See,
day
that's
long.
different.
Yeah, but it's not. But this is what I'm saying. I like it. It's the same thing. You have to feel good about you
That's fair.
at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I was fighting to hold on, to struggle and crying and being up
Yeah.
all night and sleep deprived and just, why can't I? We had latch issues. It was a whole thing.
Yeah.
And then Jared was the one that was like, so stop.
Yeah.
And I was like, what?
That's fair. Yeah.
And I was like, stop. But I have to do this. I am her mother and I'm producing milk. And he's like, babe, you are miserable.
Yeah.
And I was like, I really am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was trying to prove something to myself, like, I'm going to make it longer than I did with Cam. And And at 3 months, I was like, you know what? I'm done.
I see
And
the correlation now.
I see. This is what I'm saying, right?
It's landed.
So this is what I'm saying. Like, let me land
Mental
the
warfare.
plane. Let me land the
Welfare.
plane. So I say that about motherhood. I bring that up for breastfeeding, but I also say that in just general with women and mothers, and like the reason why we are gathered here today is because we have all struggled a time or two, whether in community or in silence. And I think it's really important that we do talk about these things. And that is the whole premise of the Mama's Den,
No,
right?
that's right.
Is so that we can create spaces to feel seen and understood and safe. And that is how I got here. That's how I've been getting through motherhood this whole time, you know? So it really is, it's a gift. It's a gift to have this space, to have this platform, to be able to share and to say and to share our truths and to hold space for each other and for our listeners and our community who may have certain questions and be like, what is it like? And I think it's really, really important. And, you know, listen, now, mind you, if I go back to the surgery, now, mind you, surgery is still surgery. I will say that. I don't take surgery like some people would just be like, oh, I had surgery last year and I have it again next year and I have it. I am personally not that person.
Yeah.
I'm really, really careful with how many times I'm gonna let somebody knock me out on a table because I just,
You never know if
we
you're
only
gonna
get,
wake up.
listen, we just get only a certain number of chances in this life. And I really do value every day of my life. And so, so again, not without necessity is my personal belief, but, when I was in recovery that first day after, it was brutal. That first day after, it was brutal. And I really was like, questioned everything. I was like, did I do the right thing? Did I do the right thing? In retrospect, absolutely did the right thing. Wouldn't change a thing. Would take that day from hell after the surgery.
Y'all were in that is also why I have never had surgery. The way, the pain, the hunched over and you were
I was
hunched.
in pain, but I certainly wasn't questioning my decision.
No,
I'm just talking about the pain that you two were in.
I mean, pain is pain, baby, when they cut you open.
Yeah.
I've never, but mind you, both of you have also
Had
experienced
C-sections.
C-sections.
Exactly.
I have never had surgery like that before,
I
ever.
do not recall the pain being as significant as the fact that I had a slight cold. Remember, I was getting over a cold.
Yes, you did.
So I was struggling to sneeze and cough those first couple of days.
The craziest thing is that I caught COVID the
Oh,
week.
you showed me.
Oh, that's right. You
week-
almost weren't able to have your surgery.
Yes, because I had to take the test,
Wow,
and they were like, "We need a
that's
COVID negative," and I was
crazy.
like, "I'm not worried." I'm like, "I have a little cold. It's fine."
Girl,
Tested
I
COVID
remember that
positive. They're
now.
like, "Hey, baby girl, you have 30 minutes? You have 30 minutes
To no longer have COVID.
Literally, I went and got my
That's
second
crazy.
follow-up test 2 days before my surgery, and I was negative, and I was thank God because
That's
I was like,
wild.
if this is not meant to be, I'm just not going to do it because there's
Yeah.
no other time.
Wait, I want to say something funny about Codie.
Oh,
so
gosh.
I went to go pick her up with Erica after her surgery, and this is when I was like, "Oh, this is truly her
First
person."
off, I don't even remember you being there, but go ahead.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was gonna say. I was like, this is truly her personality. She was so high off of whatever the hell they gave her. She was just like, she just had surgery. She was just sitting in the chair like, and me and Erica were crying,
Girl, no.
laughing because she was just like, woo.
That's so
So
hilarious.
amazing.
this
I
girl
love
just
that for
happy
you.
all the
You were
time.
so happy.
Happy all the time.
This
Just
is
had
news.
surgery and just sitting in a chair like, oh my God. Now she don't even remember us there. It was so happy to see
That
us.
is so funny.
Do you remember me coming to your house after the surgery, sitting in your room with Erica? No? Okay, cool. It's fine.
Girl.
Just know I love you.
I'm
I was there.
grateful. That's why you need a village, okay?
That's
to
why
come
you
get
need a
you after your
village.
tummy tuck.
Recovered in Ashley's house.
Right?
Nurse Codie came by bringing me foods and juices. It really is. It is a community. It is a
Yes.
community thing.
Well,
You
if
need to
I'm
have the
out
support.
here without a bra for
Baby
now
girl,
on,
you know.
y'all know why.
Listen, we
Yes.
already talked about this. She said, listen, there's a doctor in New York. If I come to New York and get my titties done, can I stay at your house? I was like, duh,
Oh,
of
listen,
course. And I
I'ma
will
get
care
a-
for you.
here too.
I'm
I
gonna
will
get a
care
nice
for you.
little C cup and go for these droopy double D's to a perky C cup.
Hilarious.
Girl,
Hilarious.
that's hilarious.
Well, listen, Mama's Den fan, we want y'all to feel free to do
Yes.
whatever you want to do, okay?
Yes.
To your body, to your breasts, feed the children, whatever.
All the things.
That's why we share. So
Yes.
we love y'all, and we will see you next Monday. Oh, wait, before we even say all of that, make sure that you love on us by going to podcasts
With
an
an
S.
S.
Send us love letters, send us questions. Make sure you're following us on Instagram at the Mama Sin Podcast. We are also going on tour.
Yay!
All of May. You can find us in Nashville, Chicago, St. Louis, Philadelphia, and Pittsburgh at the City Winery near you. Okay, make it happen for your
Yes,
people.
absolutely. So come be in space with us, celebrate yourself, celebrate your body, celebrate motherhood and sisterhood with us. We will see you in a city soon. We love you.
Love you.
Toodles.
Peace.